I'm back again. African superstar on the track. It's the weekend, and ain't no place I'd rather be than here with you, and you here with me. Yeah.
3AB got the sauce, boy.
It's a beach chill. You ain't gotta lie, come close and keep it real. Swear to God, already know how you feel. It's a beach chill. It's a beach chill. You ain't gotta lie, come close and keep it real. Swear to God, already know how you feel. It's a beach chill. It's the weekend. Here we are again. Within your arms, caress your skin. Our love is bound to win. You're my favorite person. Passion, action, mutual attraction. Our smiles are the caption. Sweet satisfaction. It's a beach chill. You ain't gotta lie, come close and keep it real. Swear to God, already know how you feel. It's a beach chill. It's a beach chill, yeah. Come close and keep it real. Swear to God, already know how you feel. It's a beach chill. Nobody gotta know. It's our own secrets, it's our own world. I'm your girl. Closest person to you in this whole wide world. To me, you come first. All my love, baby, you deserve. Kisses catering real time. So much affection, no reserves. It's a beach chill. You ain't gotta lie, come close and keep it real. Swear to God, already know how you feel. It's a beach chill. It's a beach chill. You ain't gotta lie, come close and keep it real. Swear to God, already know how you feel. It's a beach chill. Nobody gotta know. Nobody. It's the weekend. It's our own world. Here we are again. I'm your girl. Our love is bound to win. You're my favorite person. Nobody gotta know. It's a beach chill. Come close, yeah. It's a beach chill. It's a beach chill. It's a beach chill, yeah. Come close, yeah. It's a beach chill. It's a beach chill. It's a beach chill. You ain't gotta lie, come close and keep it real. Swear to God, already know how you feel. It's a beach chill. It's a beach chill, yeah. Come close and keep it real. Swear to God, already know how you feel. It's a beach chill. Beach Chill is the first official single from the Star EP, which is available exclusively for purchase at bandcamp.com. Thank you for watching.
Yes, so.
Peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another episode of Do Knowledge Radio, place where knowledge is born. This is your host, Knowledge Born Live. We're here with the star, okay? We're here with the star. We're here with one of the strongest advocates for Black love, for Black relationships, for Black empowerment across the globe, okay? So we got the global African superstar who carries this sacred star wherever she goes. She stands for
Wow.
She's our champion. She's our warrior. She is our true advocate.
Wow.
We've watched her journey over the years. We love her and we support her. So it becomes my honor and privilege at this time to introduce to some, present to others, our greatest advocate for Black love across the globe, the African superstar.
Wow. What an incredible intro. Thank you so much to Do the Knowledge Radio for having me here. I'm very delighted and very honored to hear from him and the platform. And big shout out to everybody watching us all over the globe. As he mentioned, I'm the one and only African superstar, award-winning international musician, basing in Accra, Ghana. And the track that you just saw is my most recent music video, Beach Chill. It is an ode to Black love. That's how we should be moving together. That's how we should be interacting with each other instead of at each other's neck and these gender wars and all of that. So I'm not going to steal the floor yet, but yes, thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to hear from this brother today, you know, and I think obviously it takes a lot more collaborating of those of us that care about these type of things. And I was sharing with him backstage that, you know, a lot of us Pan-Africans, pro-Blacks, you know, we're out here continually trying to communicate with our peers, and we feel like it's falling on deaf ears. But I think certainly me being able to connect with this man, this is someone who he says he's been, you know, following my journey and a viewer of my platform. I also have my own platform here on YouTube. And, you know, it speaks to the impact that we can have when we are on our task and we are unapologetic. And I'm very unapologetic about all things perpetuating our people now and forevermore. Black love is the foundation of our community. We are the only ones that can intrinsically understand each other. And we need to hold on to that. And we need to actually cherish that. And we can take, you know, we can actually, one of the things I try to do through my media, obviously, is be the change I want to see. You know, at the time I shot that music video, I was dating the young man in the video, Andrew, Mr. Hot Chocolate. And, you know, we talked about it afterwards, and he was like, I don't even feel like we were on a music video. Like, we were just having a nice date, and, you know, it felt like we were just sharing our time together. And that's how I want my music and my art to come across. This is how we should be living. We don't actually have to be enemies. And it takes a lot more of us to stand up, those of us that see what's going on around us, and saying, hey guys, ceasefire, you know, let's get back to the love. Let's get back to, you know, catering to each other and pampering each other and loving each other and passion and families and all these things. So I'm going to take the initiative with what I'm doing to perpetuate that and to showcase that at all costs. It's been a wild journey with my music. I started doing music in 2021 after I migrated to Ghana in 2020 from the UK. And as you can see, I've collected 3 music awards this year alone. My videos have been shown here in Ghana. I've toured in the UK. I've performed in Paris, also received an award in Paris, also received an award in South Africa. So when I say internationally known, award-winning, I'm not embellishing. I have actually accomplished all those things in a very short amount of time, which is encouraging to my craft, because it shows me that there are people that still love good music, clean music. I take a lot of pride in being clean, you know, no swearing, no drugs, no explicit content for our younger viewers, because they are tomorrow. They're getting a lot of that explicit nature through their media, through their peers, through their music. So it's nice to give them an alternative that, oh, hey, I don't want to listen to that stuff, you know, or I want to have an option for other music. I heard from one of my viewers just last week when I released my latest Black love track called Shades. It's an ode to all of our different many colors and our different hues and complexions. And there is a young lady who is a friend, a family friend to my mother. And she's 13 years old. And so she found me on TikTok, and she's so excited about my music and everything that I'm doing. And she messaged me and she said, oh my God, I love this song. It's amazing. I love Shades. You know, I have all your music. My little sister who lives in Ohio, in Columbus, my hometown, she tells me how people come up to her all the time and are like, man, your sister's amazing. I love her music. I'm watching her. And she told me it makes her feel so proud. You know, so I think what I'm doing is very meaningful. I know that it is meaningful. And I want to provide a safe space for our people that do not want to kind of be berated with all this toxic media. That requires musicians to provide them that kind of option, you know, to give them music that's not going to pollute their mind, rather be motivational, rather be loving, rather be encouraging. Some of my most favorite musicians have prolific messages in their songs, like Aretha Franklin and Marvin Gaye and Michael Jackson, you know, timeless themes and very creative ways that they constructed their lyrics, that they've been able to stand the test of time. And I'm seeking to do similar things with my music. So thank you again for having me. And I'm all yours. I'm on your watch. So I'm sure you have some questions for me and everything. Big shout out to everybody viewing us
What's the
today.
whole interview? Look, we could. No, I'm joking. What led you to the continent? You know.
Well, actually, I will say the short version is my ancestors. Because obviously, like I mentioned, I'm born and raised in Columbus, Ohio. I am a Buckeye, and I'm also a Bearcat. My alma mater is the University of Cincinnati. I also attended ITT Tech University and studied project management at ITT Tech. So the life that I had mapped out for myself is vastly different than where I am today. But one thing about me is I'm an action word. That's what my mom always called me. I'm a doer. I believe in taking up the necessary action to create the dynamics that you want. And so as I went through the various, you know, levels of life, I went to university, and then I got my career, and then I got married, and I was kind of looking for that solace. You know, I was looking for, okay, the I've arrived moment. You know, I've accomplished a lot of these things that I'm taught to do, and yet I'm not getting the fulfillment that is important for me. And so I would say that my ancestors kept dropping various breadcrumbs along the way. So some people will call it the Holy Spirit, or some people will call it intuition, or some people will call it the third eye, or whatever you want to identify. I like to, you know, believe that it's my ancestors that have been watching me and leading me and guiding me along the way. So as I continue to pursue the truth, you know, and kind of debunk a lot of these social myths, whatever, about life and things like that, that's what led me on. And I really ultimately left the US because I felt that being a proactive person, I had very, very little upward mobility. A lot of the things that were happening around me that were directly impacting me, such as the systematic racism, chemically modified foods, you know, the poor media, you know, I was very powerless to change any of those things. And if you can't change things, you know, that are impacting you, you can change yourself. So I took it upon myself to say, okay, you know what? This is not the only walk of life. I don't enjoy this life. And I'm going to go out there and put my hand to it and see if I can change the dichotomy. So I chanced upon my first trip to Europe in 2014. I went to London. It was a trip that I had actually ultimately planned for my 30th birthday, but I went the following year. And when I went to Europe, I was like, oh, I kind of like this. You know, I became very aware that there were multiple walks of life, and I was very concerned, and still am very concerned, about the ongoing gun violence in America and the police brutality. I always took time to kind of consider, if I found myself in those situations, how it could impact me, because I realized that many people that have become victims of these things were minding their own business. They were living their daily lives. They were not criminals. They weren't doing anything wrong or causing altercations. They just became victims because of circumstance. So I realized moving to, you know, when I visited to the UK, that guns were illegal for civilians. And as a result, there is virtually extreme minimal gun violence that happens in the UK. There's more, petty theft, breaking and robbery, knife crimes in the larger cities like Birmingham and London and things like that. But ultimately, it's significantly more safe. Also, the food, in America, we have some of the worst food in the world in terms of the chemically modified foods, which leads to a lot of health problems. It leads to obesity. It leads to depression. It leads to mental illness because you are what you eat. And in the UK, where they provide healthcare for the nation, they regulate the food. And I was very surprised to find out that many things that I had been eating in America were actually illegal. They were illegal in the UK because of their chemical modification. So by simply changing my environment, I changed so many things. I removed the high improbability of becoming a victim of gun violence. Subsequently, I lost weight, my health improved, my social well-being was better, and also the lifestyle. I like to travel. I'm a world traveler. I've currently been to 20 nations, and the European lifestyle is much more conducive for travel. Europeans travel frequently. Your jobs usually come with more allotment for traveling. The first job that I took in the UK, I started with a month of paid time off for, my leisure. And so I liked the change of pace. The only thing that was then missing was the weather. The weather in the UK is not great. I thought people were exaggerating when they would say that it's rainy. I remember when I was a little girl, my mom got me a raincoat that was made by a brand called London Fog. And, I always thought, people are just really exaggerating how, rainy and overcast it is. But it's the truth. They have very overcast, rainy weather throughout the year. And I found that was really affecting my mood. So again, the breadcrumbs. I was frequently traveling to Ghana at that time. I was doing business in Ghana and doing business in Nairobi. So every 6 months I was heading to Accra, and I was enjoying the sun, and I was enjoying the food, and I was enjoying the social life, because my social life also suffered in the UK because I was working incessantly trying to save money to do my travels and my website and things like that. So I did not have a very good social life. And I found that coming to the continent was the intersection of so many aspects that I needed in life. I might get one or two in America, and then maybe I've got 2 or 3 in the UK. But once I came to Ghana, this is the place where it's converged. And I'm now hitting, I would now say I'm probably at 85%, satisfaction in my life relative to things going on around me. So the short answer is my ancestors. I really attribute them for enlightening me various ways, helping me to connect the dots and things, and me just taking the initiative to enact on how I felt and what I was learning. And so at the period that I decided to move to Ghana, which was a year after I migrated to the UK, I gave myself a year to kind of matriculate and see how it was going. I decided a year later, you know what? I'm going to head to the continent. I'm going to just go ahead and take the leap and move to Ghana. And at the time, I had a plan of doing 6 months on, 6 months off. So I would come to the UK and work for 6 months, and then I would come enjoy myself for 6 months, preferably the winter. That was what I had planned. And then we all know COVID came. COVID came and the lockdowns came. And during the lockdown period, I was in the UK at that time. And it was the first time for like 6 months I had not traveled. I mean, I was traveling frequently in the UK. 2019, the year following, the year previous, I had 11 international trips. So I was accustomed to traveling almost every month, or definitely every 2 months. So when the lockdown came and I sat in the UK for 6 months, the first and only time I had ever been there for that duration without traveling. I said, you know what? If I have to be locked down somewhere, I'd rather be locked down in Africa. I'd rather be in a tropical place. I don't want to be here. In as much that the UK is one of the top 5 most surveilled countries in the world. So when they locked down the UK, they locked it down. They turned off the trains. There were no buses. We had a curfew. They were monitoring us via our mobile phones. There was no cash. You had to use your card to pay for everything. I mean, I really felt constricted. I love freedom. I love freedom. I'm a leader. I need the ability to govern my own life. And that experience made me say, okay, you know what? If I gotta just go for it, I'm just going to move to, because at that period, we didn't know what was happening. We didn't know things. So I said, okay, as soon as that opportunity comes for me to go to Ghana, I'm going to go. And so when the borders opened up, I liquidated my apartment, shipped all my things to Ghana, and here we are. So I moved to Ghana in 2020. Yes. So yes, I know that was an in-depth answer, but yes.
I love it. I love every bit of it. Don't you even try to be like, I know. You said everything.
Some interviewers want you to go bang bang. What's the question there? Bang bang. So I don't want to.
Sharing one of I was sharing with one of my godmothers. She was like, I don't want to complain. I said, every place. See, you was in the UK and you on the mother continent, right? And you was in Europe just as a whole. If you ask an elder how you doing, you better have an hour or an hour and a half to hear how they doing. You better have that. So if you ask somebody,
what? I obviously. I mean, I'm a speaker in addition to being a musician and everything. So, sometimes you have to deliver your point concisely. And then other times, okay, we want you to elaborate on that. So, I just don't want to be too long-winded because some people, it's like, you need to answer the question, even though you have supporting information.
We here to celebrate you. I mean, you're a trailblazer. You blazing the path because there's, we like it or not, it's 2023. There's still stigmas associated with Africa.
Absolutely.
Thanks to the National Geographics that we grew up looking and watching and reading. There was a tactic to, demoralize and to set negative expectations in regards to Africa as a whole. Then you look at West Africa in specific. So there's a bunch of things that are there. So
absolutely,
I think I saw one of your lives. You was talking about, you see these Black Americans that come overseas and they come overseas like colonizers. You see what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
some of those aspects with your reception, if you look at your reception over in Europe versus the mother continent, can we look at some of those, because I know you and our brother Tate, y'all have a tour that's coming up too.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously the racial construct is a global machine, and from my perspective, being traveling many places and living in now 3 countries, what I've determined is that it's just a different strategy depending on your location. So I feel like in America, everything is brute. Everything is brute force. Everything is violent. Everything is aggressive and very, blunt. So the racism that we encounter there, we are not disillusioned that it exists. We deal with it, and we are made to understand that it's a part of life, and that we should just get over it. And I always call it one of my biggest issues is that I do not believe that racism is compulsory. I don't believe that anybody has the right to inflict racism on me. Now, if I have done things to merit these stereotypes and I live, a sketchy life, or I'm a menace to society or a criminal, okay, then I'm subject to whatever. You know, there's an age-old adage that says you live by the gun, you die by the gun. So if you live a certain kind of life, so be it. But I have not done any of those things to merit being looked at as a less desirable person, as a uneducated person, as a statistic, as a violent person, you know. So why am I being measured? Why am I being measured like that? Why is it impacting every aspect of my life? You know, I've gone to university. I'm a professional. I'm on time. I'm articulate. I'm, you know, productive. All those things should lead to success, for instance, in the corporate environment where I used to work for JP Morgan Chase. I've also worked for United Healthcare. I've worked for PNC Bank. So I've got a long, you know, track record of corporate settings. You know, every place I go, passing up for promotions, being targeted by, you know, YT women in the workplace, supposed to be managers, but very unprofessional. And this translates into your income. It translates into the ability and the quality you're able to provide your life, you know, housing discrimination, being profiled, not to mention the psychological damage. You know, for me, that's what I talk about primarily on my channel. I'm all about the psychoanalysis of life. Okay, I look at things, I begin to dissect them, and I usually will try to strategize the way forward. Okay, is this something I can fix? You know, what does this behavior mean? What's the root cause? How do we work on prevention? You know, those are the kind of themes in the things that I talk about. So the psychological, you know, abuse of us being in those settings, it was just infuriating to me because, again, like I said, I got to the point where I felt very hopeless in being able to impact any of these things that have been going on for centuries for our people. And I took a very dramatic option, which I felt many of my peers were not prepared to do, were not willing to do, which was to change my environment. Because I believe I'm not going to force myself to be here. All right. If you don't want me here, if you're not welcoming to me, if you're making life tumultuous for me, threatening my life, threatening the life of my children, then I'm not going to contest, because as we can see, when we try to buck up against that system, we are the ones on the losing end. We've been on the losing end. We cannot force them to do what is right if they are not willing to do what's right. And I decided, you know what? I don't want to pay the ultimate cost with my life like other prolific people like Malcolm X and, you know, Kwame Nkrumah, you know, Thomas Sankara, you know, a lot of people, well-wishers, do-gooders, you know, their end was quite tragic or sad or unfortunate. And I realized that what a lot of them had in common was they were not willing to disconnect from their toxic situation and put themselves in a place that some of those factors will be alleviated or, you know, at least reduced. I felt that moving to the UK, I definitely moving to the UK was an interesting dynamic, because going and living in the UK was when I realized that I was seen as an American abroad, you know, not a Black American, but just an American. And being an American in the UK is like rock star, because everybody loves your accent and people are eager. You know, a lot of British people like to travel to the UK for, they go to Disneyland, they like going to Florida. You know, people go for the warmer weather in California. And then all the sites, you know, they go to New York City, they go to see the Statue of Liberty. And it's a tourist place for some British people. So whenever they would see me, they're like, oh my God, I've got a cousin in Chicago. And I went to Florida last year, and it was so exciting, you know. And I was like, wow, this is a different kind of reception than I receive in America, you know. And so I personally didn't encounter a lot of racism, because in that situation, my American status kind of superseded my racial status. The Black British people now, the Caribbean folks and the people from the Africa, and they get it a lot more in that setting than, like, let me say, a Black American would probably get it, you know. But I did empathize and sympathize with them because in the work setting, I would see it. I would see how Africans were treated, how the Caribbeans were treated, how the stereotypes of them was there, you know. So this racial thing is global. The only place that I felt that I could escape it was here on the continent, which explains why I'm here, because I just don't want to deal with racism every day, especially not when I'm part of the majority of the world. You know, they're not being honest about our populations being larger than their own populations, but that's the truth, because the African continent is much larger than it appears on the map. It's the largest continent in the world, and it's full to the brim of Black people. So how does that mean? How are we converted into minorities when we are the largest population in the world? You know, Nigeria itself has a population of 55 million. That's just one country out of 54 on the continent. And when you travel Africa, you see how vast it is. You get on airplanes and you see how vast the land is. Then you realize, wow, this is a huge place, a massive land, you know, space full of our people, you know. So I didn't want to be, you know, mislabeled as a minority, because I'm not. You know what I mean? And I didn't want the treatment that they inflict on minorities, you know, condescending treatment, subpar standards, stereotypes, violence, judicial abuse, you know, the list goes on and on. Bullying in the schools for our children, you know, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I think I've gone on a tangent, but yes, I think if I had to choose between the US and UK, I would choose the UK hands down. I will never slander my experience in the UK because it was overwhelmingly positive. I think by the time I moved to Europe, I was just so tired of the Western life that even though I was getting a different version in the UK, I was just sick of all of it. I was already, you know, kind of at my wit's end. And I did what, you know, I don't really particularly think it's so remarkable, but people always tell me that it is. You know, I was just on a quest to be happy. And I was on a quest to not look like I was happy on social media, but actually be happy on social media, and my social media be a byproduct of the reality of my life. And the reality of my life is Ghana is good for me. Yes. So that is also a title track of one of my very first songs. But that song, the title, the lyrics, and everything has to do with my actual transition to Ghana and how it is good for me. It's good for me all the way, you know, 360. It's all the way good for me all the way around. When I wake up in the morning and I see the sun shining, it starts my day off very nicely. When I eat, you know, organic foods, you know, my health, everything, my hair, everything has just improved. My social life is better. You know, my demeanor, my mental health is better. You know, it's just, and the energy here on the continent is unmatched. You know, people are very friendly. They're very welcoming. This is, you know, one of the few places in the world, I believe, you know, I don't believe outside the continent we are welcomed anywhere, you know, but this is one of the only places in the world that Black people can come and people are happy to see you and welcome you and, you know, share their meals with you, talk to you, and are intrigued by you. And, you know, I love it. I absolutely love it. I feel like I've been fortunate to accomplish my life's work, which is finding that satisfaction, you know. And then obviously we all have goals and there are things you want to do. You know, there's a few more things I want to tick, but I mean, I'm telling you, I don't even have a bucket list because I've done most everything I wanted to do. And moving here was the answer for me, you know, was the answer to alleviate my biggest irritation in life, which was racism. I've been able to eradicate that from my life by living in an environment where I'm part of the norm in the majority.
I love it. I love it. We got about 10 minutes left, so I want to talk about the music. I see those awards behind you. I was cheering you on when I saw everything. I want to talk about the music, and I want to talk about this tour that you have coming up with our brother Taya Huru.
Yes,
bringing people back home.
Absolutely. So as far as the music, I touched on it a little bit earlier. I started in 2021. I wrote, actually, Ghana is Good For Me is the first song I ever wrote. And I took it to a girlfriend of mine, and I just wanted her to, give me feedback. And when she heard it, she said, "Oh, Gina, I love it. You should record it. This is good." And so I did. I recorded Ghana is Good For Me. My first music video was Ghana Roll Call, which was the second recorded song. I recorded both of them in the same session. And I put Ghana is Good For Me on YouTube. And the reception was really good. It's currently my most viewed music video. Woda Maya shared it on his platform. O'Shea Duke Jackson shared it on his platform. Phil Scott shared it on his platform. A lot of people just poured out a lot of support and love. And I thought, okay, well, I might be on to something here. And the interesting thing about it, real quick, was when I came to Ghana, I was a relatively larger YouTuber. I hit the 10K mark on my original platform in December of 2020. And then I had an interview on BET, and I was smooth cruising to my goal of 25K. That's what I wanted to achieve on my original platform. And suddenly YouTube took my platform in April of 2021, saying that I violated community guidelines. And I mean, I started from zero. I had to start from zero. And I was also getting, pretty good income from my YouTube channel at that time. And I had to start from zero. So I told the ancestors, I said, hey, because when I talked to them, I talked to my ancestors. I talked to my aunts. I talked to my grandmothers, my female ancestors that have gone on that I actually know and lived with. So I have one auntie in particular. Her name is Aunt Lorraine. She actually passed away during my first trip to my first trip to Africa. I was in South Africa in 2016, and she passed away. She was quite ill when I was leaving, and she told me, "Gina, go. I want you to go and have a great time, and I'll see you when you get back." But by the time I got back to the US, she had passed away. But I'm her favorite niece. She loved me. She never made any bones about it. She's a big cheerleader of everything I was doing. So I talked to my Aunt Lorraine. So I told them, I said, okay, my platform went down, and I know I got some haters out there that's probably like, oh, now she's going to fail. I actually got a couple emails saying to me, oh, I guess you're going to have to move back, now that your YouTube is gone. Pro tip, guys, make sure you have multiple streams of income. So you don't get caught up slipping in a similar situation with all this online business and things. So anyway, I told my ancestors, I said, okay, look, we're in crunch time now, because, YouTube was a substantial stream of income for me. And I said, I must never be put to shame for following you guys here to the continent and choosing to live in my motherland. I must never be put to shame for that decision. And I need you guys to, lead me the way, because that's what I will always tell them when I get challenges that seem extreme. And I'm like, how am I going to facilitate this? I don't have the resources. I don't know how to do this. I don't know the logistics. I always tell my ancestors, I'm like, okay, if this is what you want me to do, then I need y'all to provide a way for me to maintain it or achieve it. So I tell you guys that I never did music abroad, ever. I never trained professionally. I never wrote a song. I never recorded a song. I never even had a vision of being a musician. I've always been a connoisseur of music, but I never saw myself doing it. So when I wrote this song, I was listening to this beat that I came across on YouTube. I was listening, and I remember an interview I saw from Adele. And she was talking about how, you know, you want to make your songs very vivid. You want to make your listeners be able to step into the song and feel your feelings or understand what you're trying to convey. So I literally wrote Ghana is Good for Me about my day. You know, vitamin D on a Monday, which is, you know, comes from the sun. I love living in the sun. I hate cold weather. Vitamin D on a Monday, head to the gym. It's a fun day. Go and see my friends. They're waiting for the African superstar baby. We gonna get in the pool, strawberry daiquiri. Yeah, that's cool. We don't gotta wait for the weekend to live. We live every day, and that's clear. So that's my day. That was my day. I would get up, walk to the gym, meet my friends there. I would get in the pool every day after the gym, and there's a nice restaurant around the pool, and I'd have a strawberry daiquiri or a mango daiquiri, whatever, mojito. That was my day. So I wrote it, put it in the song, and, you know, shared it with a friend. And the rest of the journey has been me expressing myself. You know, I'm now at a point where I'm actually in awe of the African superstar, the musician. You know, she is another element of myself. I mean, I'm not Beyonce alter ego or anything, but this is literally an untapped side of my, you know, personality that I never entertained. And as it takes fuel, it's fascinating to me. Like, you know, winning these awards, this is my first, I'll briefly go over them. This is my Vocalist of the Year award that I received here in Ghana. I was awarded this for my very first release of the year. For every action, there's a reaction. I won this. And then this, I received this in September in Paris. I actually went to perform in Paris. This is Best Diaspora Afro Pop Rapper of the Year. This was awarded for Ghana is Good for Me, which I did also perform in Paris. And then this one, this is my third award. This comes from South Africa. This is the Promising Artist of the Year. So they actually had an award ceremony slated for South Africa, but they had some organizational problems or whatever. However, we were still the winner of our category, so they did hand deliver this award to me a few weeks ago here in Accra. And so I got nominated for this first award, and I was like shocked, you know, because I was like, wow, I'm just here making music. You know, I'm here making music. Obviously, we want to benefit, make a little income from our music and things like that. But I never entertained, okay, you know, traveling, performing internationally, winning awards in different countries. You know, it's not anything in my mind. When I watch my music videos like Beach Chill that was played before this episode, it's fascinating, you know, because I'm like, I never knew these things were inside of me. And I would have never known if I didn't come here and decompress and my creativity be allowed to flow. We are very preoccupied with nonsense in the West because of the lifestyle, because of the demands, because of the expense. We don't have time to figure out what we like, what we love, what we're good at. You know, what do we want to do outside of maybe our jobs and careers or alternative streams of income? You know, we don't entertain it. So where I am with the music right now, I'm going with the flow. You know, we've had a very, very incredible year, 2023. Again, it brought all these music awards. I dropped 2 EPs. For every action, there's a reaction, as well as STAR, which I released on my 40th birthday this past June. And that music is available for Bandcamp. Special shout out to Do the Knowledge Radio, because they purchased our entire discography. They went and got every song to support what I'm doing. And I really, really deeply appreciate that, because it's encouraging to me when I hear feedback from people of how they love the music, how they love the videos, how they like what I'm doing. But not only that, they actually tangibly support, because I am an independent artist. I've been funding all these music videos, recordings, everything on my own, which is a labor of love because I love it. It's my craft. I want to be hands-on in the concepts of my music video and the production of my songs. So I don't mind, but the support from you guys allows me to do so much more, afford more things, tour places. Maybe I can come to your cities and perform. You know, all those things are possible with more support. So that's where we are in the music. I currently have a new song that an audio that I released last week called Shades. It's an ode to Black love. It talks about all of our many different colors and how, you know, again, I make romantic music. I'm passionate, I'm loving, and I try to put all those things in the songs because I believe that's how we should be interacting with each other. You know, at the end of the day, we do have differences, but I think we love each other. We need each other. And until we recognize that, our community will be severely challenged. So I'm going to be part of the proponent of getting us back on, you know, the Black love, showcasing it, participating in it, promoting it, singing about it, you know, in addition to the content, in addition to our people, in addition to our young people. And all of those things are my focus with my music currently. Oh, I can't hear you. You went out. You went out.
I said, pardon me.
There we go.
We got a few minutes left, and I want to talk about this magnificent flyer I sold you and Brother Tay.
Yes, yes.
Helping, you know, Black people see the continent. So let's talk about
Absolutely.
that, and then your final thoughts on where people can find you and support you.
Thank you so much. Thank you again. I'm so, as you can tell, I'm really happy and excited to be here. Yes. We have an upcoming tour. I'm doing a collaborative tour with fellow world traveler and African historian, Mr. Taye Uhuru. He also has a podcast here on YouTube, and he's been very active in our spaces, very, very intelligent, you know, professional, sophisticated brother. We've been friends for many years now, and we decided to team up and do this tour as people have been asking me if I was going to offer tours. And I thought, okay, you know, he has a lot of the know-how of how they work, and he's done tours here in Ghana. So what better opportunity for us to team up in 2024? We'll be hosting our first tour the first week of March. From March 4th, we will be hosting you for 7 days. We'll be going to Kumasi and also Cape Coast, as well as spending time here in the capital city of Accra. And if you participate in the tour, you will also receive a welcome concert, private concert from me. Yeah, you can't beat that. And also a traditional picture for a traditional picture of the group tour. We're going to also go to, you know, some of the historical sites, Cape Coast. I know some of you guys like to go to Elmina Castle. There'll be some beach time. There'll be some chilling time. You know, there'll be sightseeing, and it'll be a great opportunity. It's also falling during Ghana Independence Day, which takes place on the 6th of March. So you would actually get to be here when, you know, the historic Kwame Nkrumah celebrated Ghana's very first Independence Day. So we are hosting this tour, and I'm really excited. I would love to see some of you guys. It is limited spots only. If you're interested, you can find the full itinerary and booking options at tayeuhuru.com. That's Taye Uhuru, which is UHURU.com. It's right on the homepage, and you can secure your space by making your non-refundable deposit, which we use for your airfare. And hey, you know, if you are someone who's been curious about coming to Ghana or coming to Africa, maybe you're a solo traveler, maybe you're a bit nervous and you kind of want to do a group setting, this is a great opportunity. You can come and travel with people that you know and trust. And this is actually the website. Thank you so much for pulling it up. So as you guys can see, it's right there on the homepage. Top left is you can actually purchase the tour outright if you would like to. The total cost is $4,000. That does include your airfare from either JFK or London, or if you have other destinations that, you know, we can always do custom for you if that's needed. That's going to cover your hotel, your transportation, breakfast and lunch, all your attractions, the private concert, as well as the traditional photo and admissions to all the attractions. So it's a great opportunity for you to tour with the one and only African Superstar. This is my maiden tour. So you can have bragging rights that you were on the first, of many future tours, perhaps. And I would love to have you, come, and we're going to continue to do this work. And Do the Knowledge Radio is also doing his share, getting the good word out there. And I'm very honored, both Taye Uhuru and I appreciate the opportunity to share our tour with your viewers today. Thank you so much.
All right, final thoughts. This has been amazing.
Yes.
I gotta get part 2 because we ain't even really scratched the surface. I just have another interview.
Absolutely. If you guys have enjoyed our interview today, please make sure you join me on my platform, which is here on YouTube, The African Superstar Black. You can also connect with me on all socials, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I'm not on Snapchat. I'm not on Twitter. So, you have plenty of options. If you are also a fellow content creator or radio host and you're interested in collabing with me, don't hesitate to reach out to me at africansuperstar@gmail.com. That's African with a K. Or, just like Do the Knowledge Radio did, he reached out to me through Instagram. So, any of those mediums, and I will be happy to also come to your platforms and share this. I think all of us that are in this space, in this media space, collaboration is very, very important, for us to be able to get more realm of influence. If we're doing a lot of things, but people are unaware of what we're doing, the services we provide, then, we also don't get to help people, and it's also not beneficial for us. So again, I cannot express how deeply grateful I am for appearing on your platform and all that you have done for me and investing in my music and my craft. It means so much to me, and I've really enjoyed this time. So let's not be strangers. We can meet in the future, and I wish your platform, immense growth, everything that you are working hard to do, because I know that you're someone who loves our people, is passionate about the growth and well-being of our people. So keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and the only,
The one and only.
African
Yes.
Superstar. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
African Superstar with the one and only Ghana roll call. African Superstar with the one and only, Chillin' in East Lake on weekends. It's Osu at Bloom Bar, Crocobit Beaches, past Casawaja. Port is at Tama. Capital City is Accra. Solid gold rings from Kumasi in the north is Tamale. Teshianungwa, which is the seat to the God King. Waterfalls and boutiques, mountains in Koforidua. Airways hail from Volta. Shout out to the eastern region, whole Afla and Aquatia. Looking for crystal seas, check central region for these. Winneba, Cape Coast, Gono, Sway, Drella Market. African Superstar with the one and only Ghana roll call. African Superstar with the one and only, African Superstar with the one and only Ghana roll call. African Superstar with the one and only, Hop on the plane, it's the Ashanti again. Represent in treat, Mifiri Obuasi, Ohene, Ohima. Draped in Kente and Sika. From Yende, Suyani, Ashaiman, Fenties represent Takoradi. Back to Accra, home of the Black Stars. Head to Labadi and chill at a beach bar. North Canation, home to Lord. Papers first, EP. Head to Lamina for mystery. Evenings in Avery, overlook the city. Pram, Akusumbo, damn. Dr. Nkrumah is still the man. Pan-African history. Red, gold, and luscious green. Gold Coast is so supreme. Kintampo of Branga, Harpo, Kakwa, Oxima, Penman, Kibi. The Dagomba, Speak, Doc, Bane. Dharma, Kuya, Kulin, Labana, Nahala, Uni. African Superstar with the one and only Ghana roll call. African Superstar with the one and only, African Superstar with the one and only Ghana roll call. African superstar with the one and only, with the one and only. Medase means thank you. Et saying, how are you? Miho ye, I am fine. Mendafo pa, good friend. Medo, Ghana, pa. I love Ghana. I love African superstar, Whoa Chrome. I got something new for you guys. African superstar. The mixtape. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this video. Hashtag Ghana is good for me. On the track. Ghana is good for me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I said it. Hey, Ghana is good for me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? If not, listen to me. Vitamin D on a Monday. Heading to the gym, it's a fun day. Gonna see my friends, they waiting for the African superstar, baby. We gon' get in the pool. Strawberry daiquiri, yeah, that's cool. We don't gotta wait for the weekend to live. We live every day and it's clear, cause it's my time. And I'm gonna shine. Motherland on my mind. Strong African pride. It's my time. Motherland on my mind. Just repeat this line cut. Woo! Ghana is good for me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I said it. Hey, Ghana is good for me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? If not, listen to me. Life in the West is a struggle, never balanced, confusion always a juggle. I'm a good girl trying to stay out of trouble. Ghana was the missing piece of the puzzle. Chill in the sun, at the beach, shining with confidence, I'm complete. Unleash stresses, African successes, always dressed to impress, sun kids finesse. Handsome chocolate guys asking me what's next. You already know, it's an automatic yes. I told them I was gonna act up and floss. Took the stereotype and changed the plot. They already mad, wait till my mixtape drop, flip flop. I'ma cause a lynch mob. Expect nothing less, beautiful and blessed. Baby, I'm a superstar, ace the test. Haters are stressed as we progress. Eyes on my social media, obsessed. The impact is obvious. My track record ain't cockiness. Trace and copy us. The results are glorious. Stars shine bright, blinding the audience. Living here was my dream. It could be yours if you know what I mean. Africa, Ghana, the whole continent been good to me. When Africans, home and abroad, team up, we can go Usain Bolt, Olympic fire. Unity for better Africa, more freedom and prosperity per capita. I spit the bars and you know what I mean. Come to the motherland and dance with me. I spit the bars and you know what I mean. Come to the motherland and party with me. Because woo, Ghana is good for me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I said it. Hey, Ghana is good for me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I said it. Woo! It's my time, and I'm gonna shine. Motherland on my mind. Strong African pride, cause Ghana is good for me. Ghana is good for me. Ghana is good for me. Throw your hands in the air if you agree. Woo! It's my time. African superstar on the track. And I'm gonna shine.